here is a straight line. There's a mark there with pencil, dead set in the middle of this spirit level, and the lower line there to the right. Now just move that up to the other line and replace the spirit level with this. There you go, it's right in the middle, right on that line there and right on that line there. A good 8mm above the actual level. So the rule is never trust the spirit level on the bracket on sun-grow inverters. Look at those steel battens, the blue ones. They're wafer thin. These are the screws that they use to put the roof on. Very small self-driller on it. Look at these. Look at the size of that drill bit on these. It came with the 10 feet for this. I'm not going to use them. I don't think I'm going to play it safe. Go with these wood screws, so don't butcher a massive hole and they're not really holding on very well. That thread pitch is very similar to this one, so I should be fine. If you want to know how the solar industry is regulated and administrated, look no further than the solar panel plugs. These are a genuine MC4 connector, but we have this brand here, which looks incredibly similar to this brand here, but you can tell the difference in the bridges there, in the moulding, which looks very similar to this, which is another genuine MC4 plug. Now, this also looks somewhat similar to this plug, which is different yet again. No, it's not the same plug as this one, you may be asking. No, they're slightly different, as you can see. They are different indeed. There you go. Let's not mix them up, shall we? Because otherwise I'll be here forever. Oh, come on. Trying to sort them out yet again. These are all the same. I just found I had 2 bags of the same thing here. After some scrutiny. See, the problem is none of these are interchangeable. I can't plug that into that, or that into that, or that into that. That sums up the solar industry. So nothing is made easy. There's nothing but hurdles, unnecessary red tape, unnecessary hurdles, and all they have to do is make a standard that the tolerance of this pin here has to meet a certain tolerance, certain standard, and they'd all be interchangeable, just like your power plug when you plug an appliance into the power point. Imagine if you had a different power point. You have to have a different plug for every appliance and adapters. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is a metaphor for the solar industry, and that's why my life is painful. What we have here is an innovative technique. I'm using this pipe and cable tied it to the rail. Now this is UV stabilized. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't really have any identification on it. So it doesn't say this is water under the solar panels, for example. So it ticks all the boxes to be used for this application. Now why am I using that instead of cable tying directly to the rail with the cable? And the answer is, a lot of the times on the roof you've got to zigzag around from one rail to the next, which I'll be doing on these other sections. So therefore you want to be able to feed the cable in and zigzag later, so the pipe is already there instead of having to cable tie on the roof. Now the more work you do on the ground, the better. One, your quality control goes up because you're not getting off the ladder and getting tools half a dozen times. Two, the safety is better because you can't fall off the ground, but you can fall off the roof. And three, your time savings, of course. Get as much done on the ground rather than walk around trying to work on a uneven surface high on a ladder. However, despite this innovative technique, the mentality of regulators in Australia is not to think of great ways to make quality control go up, safety go up, efficiency go up, and prices go down. They have a mentality of policing. They think they're doing productive work when they police the industry and make it hard as possible. So they'll look at this and they'll say, oh, that's a horticultural pipe, let's ban it. And I'll say that just to police it, just to make it hard. So now a problem that has been solved now needs to be remedied again. And what happens is safety goes out the window, all those things I mentioned, quality assurance goes out the window. Someone's on a roof trying to frickin' cable tie this, and you end up with a bird's nest under the roof of cabling. It looks like third world country electrical wiring. It is third world country electrical wiring, and it's all because of the authorities and the administrators of administrative administration. Plus, they don't do any auditing. They write these very strict rules and they think we've got the highest standards. We can have the highest standards in the world, but if you don't go out and audit, well, the standards aren't being implemented, are they? And that's what we have in Australia. I'm competing against cowboys, so this saves me time, saves me money, because it's very cheap conduit, by the way, and it's safer, and my quality goes up, and the job's easier. All the boxes are ticked, so you can all go get fucked. Not the watcher, the administrators of administrative administration. I'm talking about the authorities. They can all go get fucked. Another thing, if you ever see a guy on a roof with a rope, not an inertia reel like this, he's just virtue signalling. See these cables? You stand on them, you slide, they roll. And that's what happens with a rope. The rope is all over the place because you'd be constantly adjusting the length that this inertia reel does automatically. And they don't bother because they'll never get any work done. They're under the pump. I've put some gaffer tape down here to protect the ridge. I don't know about, I wish there was a real tape for that. Maybe there is. And I actually had a slip. See those cables have it hanging down there at the end there? I actually stood on one of those and I slipped and my foot went into the gutter and popped it off that clip. I've got to put it back on. That was a close shave. And this would have stopped me. But the guys with the rope, they have slack rope because, like I said, they haven't got time to tighten it. Otherwise, I'll never get any work done. I'll be 90% of the time adjusting the rope all the time. And that slack becomes a hazard, and they stand on it and it rolls and they fall off the roof, and because they haven't got their rope taut, they fall on the ground and break their leg. The only time I've ever heard of a solar injury is that scenario. So more bullshit from OH&S this time. The ropes, no good, forget it. More bullshit from the administrators of administrative administration, more on the OH&S side this time. But as you can see, tools on the roof. The more tools on the roof you have, the worse things get. Look at this is not right. But I'm going to put that there where my foot is, grab that, maybe clip it onto my belt, which is going to fall off anyway. I'm going to put it in my pocket. There we go. And as you can see, the more tools you have on the roof, the worse it is for quality control and safety. They don't bother. See these cable ties? No one has a cable tie gun. That's just another tool. They just pull it with the pliers, and they don't even take the cut the end off. That tail that they don't cut off will scrape the back of the panel in the wind and eventually cause a fire hazard. And that's how that works. Solar industry regulators and administrators have tried to kill as many solar installers as possible over the years. And one of the methods was to increase the width of the panel. They originally started at 880mm, then they went to 990, and now they're a 1134mm. And finally they're getting results. Leaning forward over that distance and then sliding off the edge is a good way to land on your head. But now we can avert that if you're a solar installer coming up against the forces of evil with the Midmaster 5000. As you can see, it's just a conventional 90-degree tool with the precision engineered attachment, which has a cable gland which securely bolts onto the lever, preventing rotation when doing it up. And as you can see, one can extend all the way to the mid clamp without leaning forward over the panel. Let's take a look at the Midmaster 5000 in action. Oh yeah, baby! The Midmaster 5000 just attaches to any conventional drill.